Greetings and welcome back to Hearts of Iron 4, where the glory of the Mexican Socialist Republic is about to be brought to the workers of Peru, the poor, downtrodden workers of Peru, too long abused by the bourgeois elite, who are now about to feel the wrath of Gallardo himself, the most charismatic commander alive, a man so popular amongst his troops that even when he is completely hammered on tequila and tripping his face off due to having smoked all the Cuban cigars in the entire supply wagon, they would still follow him on one of his glorious adventures overseas, dressed as Peruvian fishermen, which is precisely what they're about to do, for it is Gallardo's latest incredible and awesome plan of utter bravado-ness to lead his men, but 10 lonely divisions on an attack against Lima, a naval strike, whilst they're not looking. Because, of course, in the meantime, Martin Bustamante is going to launch a surprise attack here in the north and try and draw their forces up. We have very few troops to be able to actually hold them off in if they mount any kind of counterattack, so I'm hoping that maybe these troops will care more about coming out of the horrible stinking jungle, because Gallardo did not want to be in the jungle. "Get to the chopper!" he shouted, not knowing what a chopper was. "Get to the boats!" Yeah, something like that anyway. So he got to the boats, and he is going to go in as a Peruvian fisherman, and hopefully this plan is going to be awesome, and it's going to deliver us Peru once more. The might of the Mexican Socialist Republic will expand. Meanwhile, of course, we do have Americans partying, getting hammered, and generally wandering around in our territory completely just nonchalantly, because apparently that's fine. We have this ongoing war at the moment, of course, the Mexican-Dominican War, which I suspect when we declare war on Peru, they will join that war. I don't know why they care. I don't know why the Axis cares. The Axis is effectively defeated. I mean, if you look at the rest of the world, there is so little of the Axis left. In Japan, look, that's it. That's all Japan's got. I mean, they're going to lose Tokyo pretty soon. And then what's left? Like, the Reich, the German Reich, has already long since collapsed and been just absorbed by the incredible advance of the Soviet Union. In Africa, it's basically just France, the United Kingdom. I mean, it's the old European powers hanging out, doing their thing. The Axis is virtually no more, but they insist on continually inviting everybody that I attack into their midst and calling it part of the same war. So, I mean, you know what? If it makes them happy, that's fine. Peru, we declare war. And the Mexican Socialist Republic has declared war on the Republic of Peru. And what happens as a result? German Reich has called the Republic of Peru as our enemy in the Mexican-Dominican War. Of course you have. We have no allies. They have lots of allies, but it matters not. Bustamante, start busting your way in there. Well, I mean, fight off the advance, and then we're losing badly here. You know what? Pull back. And I guess you can pull back as well behind this river. Yeah, so I think that's a little join there. So we'll kind of like create a fresh line back here. Meanwhile, Gallardo, launch the epic plan of epicness, the glorious assault on Lima in your Peruvian fishing fleet, or rather, your Mexican battle fleet, which you have just very dodgily dressed up in what you imagine to be classic Peruvian fishing garb, most of which has come from the set of the Mexican Adventures in Atlantis, the latest epic in Gallardo Wood, as he likes to call it. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. We'll see how it gets on. I don't know if the Peruvians are going to be convinced. Hopefully they'll be more concerned about what's going on up here with Bustamante busting their manties than anything else. Look, hold on. We're actually losing here, and we need to keep the airfield. So, what is going on? Did you start your attack? I think he has, but these truck chicos do not appear to be in his division, so we'll send them over. We'll also bring down some of these guys. I know they're kind of like I know they're delivering tequila at the moment, but last thing we want is a Peruvian breakthrough to just like get out into the Colombian jungle and start to romp across occupied territory, disrupting the locals. And I mean, what would happen to the tequila then? I'll tell you what would happen. It would be drunk by Peruvian soldiers, and we cannot have that. It could even give them superpowers or something. You never know. These are the sort of things that we need to be careful about. Bustamante is busting the manties of these troops here. He's also trying to bust the manties of these troops, but without much luck at the moment. I think we'll have to wait until this falls before we can divert additional resources. We'll slowly work our way along the bottom here. I have faith in Bustamante. He is methodical and also quite awesome in his general ability to be awesome and methodical. We're losing here though, this is bad. 15 days, 14 days. Well, don't worry, we've got some truck chicos coming in to relieve you there, my friends. They will hold out for you. There appear to be, I don't know who this is, Spanish or something. Somebody, the Republic of Spain, wandering through the jungle, just passing by. Hi, guys. I don't know what they're doing here. Apparently, it's not helping us in any way, shape, or form, but it is at least, hanging out, possibly helping themselves to some tequila, and the odd Cuban cigar, and, swapping war stories. What have you been up to, members of the Republic of Spain? Well, I'm just wandering about the jungle, it's just what we do here. We wander around the jungle. You're drug mules, aren't you? Aren't you? Republican soldiers of Spain? No, man, no, it's not us. Oh, we didn't do nothing. We just say now, bye. Yeah, likely story. But look, Gallardo has arrived. He has thrown off the dodgy disguises of Peruvian fishermen and has launched his port attack on Lima with various degrees of success. We're currently winning 82, but it is kind of like faltering back and forth. So we could really do with causing more concern for them. What's happening with Martin Bustamante? We have caused a breakthrough here. That's excellent. We've taken a territory, and that's pretty good. Let's have this lot take this territory now and continue the advance down around the bottom. They're actually drawing. Look at that. Straight away, Martin Bustamante storms forward. This is going to be a glorious and epic assault. Look, we're winning now the Battle of Lima. Gallardo is on the front of his boat, shouting orders to his men. Onward, Peruvian fishermen! Stay in character! The motivation is everything. National focus completed. Nuclear effort. Standing on the edge of a world-changing discovery, we cannot let others light the fire that may one day consume the Earth. No, certainly not. If anybody's going to light an Earth-consuming fire, it's going to be the MSR. Do you get me? Good. We're kind of running out of national efforts now. I'm going to save capital ship effort until we've got a higher level capital ship that we want to actually research. So I guess we'll do aviation effort, which gives us extra air bases and 1 times research bonus for air doctrine. We've got to research air doctrines at some point, right? Some of the flyboys are assisting in the daring invasion of Lima. The disguise has been well and truly seen through now. Look, the Liman defenders are actually gaining control here a little bit. We could struggle to make this stick. Hopefully, when we drop a few tequila bombs on them and get a few of them hammered, that situation might change slightly. Look, let's unpause it because it was in fact paused. Come on, switch it out, pull it back. Come on, Gallardo. We're relying on you. We need to take Lima in a swift strike, and we want to avoid a protracted campaign here in Peru, which, frankly, we kind of do. Look, we've already lost some territory to them. This is probably a good position to dig in and hold the line. The airfield is holding out, which is good. Regimental combat teams. We could get advanced computing machines. Is Mexican Zork on punch cards enough to keep our glorious boffins fully entertained when they're not researching things? I think perhaps a new and more powerful computing machine is required. Plus, it will reduce future research time by 5%. So let's do that. Let's do it right now. Get to work on that, my boffins, and please try to spend as little time as possible playing Zork and more of it inventing the actual glorious new technologies that the MSR will need to continue their campaign across all of the Americas. Gallardo's plan seems to be faltering quite badly here at the moment. I mean, it was always a long shot, to be fair. I think even Gallardo knew that props from Atlantis were unlikely to convince the Peruvians for long. and they certainly are not convinced right now. However, if they're concentrating their defenses back there, it's entirely possible that we will be able to press our advantage, and seize control simply by advancing down this mountain range. That was always Bustamante's plan. Bustamante always figured that his bustings and his manties would be required in order to take Lima. He just kind of he humored Gallardo when he said, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to lead the men on a glorious attack. Get to the boats. But Bustamante just kind of nodded and smiled and went, yes, of course, my friend. You do this glorious attack. Just in case that doesn't work, I will lead glorious assault troopers, brave mountaineering Mexican troopers along the Peruvian mountain ranges here, and attack from the north. And, Gallardo was like, we will have Lima before you arrive, you fool! But we'll see. It is a bet between the two of them right now. We're going to see who reaches Lima first. Who gets into the city first? Will it be Gallardo or will it be Bustamante? I'm not entirely sure what they could possibly have bet on such a thing. I'm sure that the stakes are pretty high though. Whether it be a year's tequila ration, or possibly access. I'll tell you exactly what it is. It's which of the two of them gets command of the currently in development Tanko Maximo divisions, which apparently should be Tanki Maximo. So I don't know. Should I change it? Tanki Maximo, Tanko Maximo. Tanki Maximo actually probably sounds better. Yeah. Well, we're not going to do that in the midst of war, though. Oh no! Look, one of Gallardo's divisions, two of Gallardo's divisions, including his very own horse strike troopers, has decided that enough is enough, and they've pulled back. Gallardo, of course, has leapt off the horse before it retreated. He would not retreat. Certainly not if command of the new Tanki Maximos was on the line. He's going to be there. He's obviously switched his command to one of the Mech Chicos mechanized trucks, and has now driven that up to the prow of the ship and is shouting his various and assorted orders. Meanwhile, atomic research has been completed. Of course, this is the nuclear research division of the Boffins, and they have only one task in mind at the moment, and we have to create as much fissile material as possible anyway, which means getting our nuclear reactors on stream. And so that is precisely what we're going to do. This building provides the state with production and enriched uranium for use in nuclear weapons. Excellent. It's a little bit ahead of time, but we do have an ahead of time bonus on it. It'll take us quite a while though, like nearly a year. Oh, poor old Gallardo. It looks like he's going to lose the bet. Look at this. He is losing the fight. His troops have returned back to the port in disgrace. Look, he's going to send a memo back. He's going to send a carrier pigeon and or get on the wireless if he has such a thing. And it's going to come back here and be like, what are you doing, you fools? You have to get back into the fight. But remember to bring fresh tequila when you come. So they're going to stock up on tequila and then get back into the fight. Meanwhile, Bustamante is doing considerably better here. Look, let's advance across the river. And oh, where's he going? Look, he's going for a walk. Can we send in some additional troops? I'd like to send these three to assist in this attack. That's exactly what I'm going to do. In fact, those three and these two, those three can advance into this undefended territory. Oh yes. Bustamante's attack is going far better. Far better. Are we holding them back here? Oh, we're losing here. This is not good. Oh, and now we're winning? Okay. It's tough. It's hard fighting in the jungle. Hard fighting indeed. I have no intel on a combat going on here. Could the Americans be getting involved? Could that actually be happening? Are the Americans helping us? Have we managed to bribe them with enough tequila that they've decided to stand in the jungle and shoot a few Peruvians? Or perhaps they're just doing it for fun. Just for a little bit of fun. Improved Artillery Upgrade 1 has been completed. Wow, I mean, it's action-packed, isn't it? Action-packed. Let's just pause it and decide what we're going to spend our next bit of research on. I quite fancy going down the old rocket artillery, I'm not going to lie. We've also got other things in here that we could potentially research, but I think probably more important right now is to get ourselves in a position where we've got some better aircraft. And I'm going to skip over. This is my crazy, crazy plan. The boffins have put their heads together and they've said, you know, we've kind of ignored fighter technology for a long time now. And those Americans, they have pretty good fighters. And, you know, when the time comes to fight them, we need a game-changing aircraft. Just simple iterative improvements of fighter technology is not enough. Instead, we need jet fighters, and there's already been some cursory work being done on this. So in the meantime, let's just improve our close air support until such time as we can move on to the glory of fighters. Jet fighters, that is. I mean, I assume that that's required. I assume we have to come down here in order to get to jet fighters. We obviously also need jet engine technology, which we have to get from somewhere else. But all of these things will come in time. They will. Honestly, just trust me, okay? I totally know what I'm doing. I've got this. I've got this down. Don't you worry yourselves. This combat, however, we are now losing somewhat. Sadly, we are advancing along here. Those 4 troopers are on their way in. Good. It's all a bit. You know what? Is this the entire... Oh, it's nearly the entire attack. But look, Gallardo, alone now, nearly alone out here. Even the mech chicos have abandoned him. Has nearly taken the port of Lima. He's going to do it. He's going to do it on his own. Look, he sent a message. Bring the tequila. I take the port on my own. I have led the troops in on a glorious attack. Just on my own. And so it is. That's exactly what he's done. I mean, astonishingly, that is exactly what he's done. Look, let's bring in some fresh troopers. By port. There's also a sea battle going on now. Look, we've got the Battle of the Peruvian Coast with the 2nd Mexican canoe fleet engaging a fleet of Peruvian vessels and I think soundly spanking them. Did we just sink? Look at that. With no losses of our own, we sunk 2 light cruisers, 4 destroyers and 3 submarines. Oh, good work, 2nd Canoe Fleet. You might even have earned yourself an admiral when I've got a minute to actually concentrate on it. Meanwhile, look, Gallardo's won. He's won the bet. Not only has he won the bet, but the rest of his troops have arrived into the port of Lima, and now he's looking to continue the assault elsewhere. He's already won command of the Tango Maximos. The message has probably already reached Bustamante, who's just been, like, stuck here all this time. He's been unable to break through the defences of this force here. I mean, admittedly, he's been trying to cross the river, which is never particularly helpful, but nonetheless, he's going to be gutted. He's going to be... Oh, look, we're winning here. Suddenly, he's getting a breakthrough. A sudden breakthrough has occurred, probably because they've realised that their capital city has fallen, and it's all going to be a bit of a mess for them now. You know what, Gallardo? Why don't you just head straight for the 2nd city of Arequipa? Arequipa. I'm sorry. I'm just sorry. I'm so sorry. Head for that city and just take it in the name of the Mexican Socialist Republic and end this war. That is the last major city, I think, in Peru. So hopefully, when that falls, Peru will fall. And then all of the Americas. Well, okay, maybe not all of the Americas, but look at that progress. I mean, did you ever think that little old MSR would make it so far, so deep into the Americas? The advanced computing machine has been completed. The temptation of a new Mexican Zork was clearly so great that the boffins worked overtime day and night to complete these new advanced computing machines. Beginning to work on computers capable of storing programs and making use of transistors will put us on the path to a digital revolution where these machines may be used in nearly any field. Indeed, if you have a laptop, you can use it in pretty much any field. Anyway, sorry, that was a joke made by one of the boffins. It wasn't me. What next? Should we get these boffins to work on experimental rockets, seeing as it's right there staring at me? Advancing the science of rocketry by improving the range and reliability of liquid fuel rockets will teach us enough about the technology to allow construction of launch sites for more advanced models. Let's totally do that. Let us do that. We also have free military factories. Look, we're up to 52 military factories. Count them. It's awesome. Let's get Lots of production on the Tanko Maximo, seeing as Gallardo is now very excited because he is going to be given command of these awesome new machines of war. We also got an extra naval dockyard, so take one there, one extra submarine. How is our heavy cruiser research? Just 7 days. 7 days, and we can begin using, or we can begin constructing heavy cruiser 2, possibly, if we decide that is what we want to do. But first, we do still need to actually take Peru, and it may be that we can do it. Gallardo, of course, is on that right now. He has encountered some resistance, but it is small, and hopefully not going to hold him up for too long. We have only left one troop defending Lima, so it's not going to stand much of a counterattack. But you know what? Bustamante might well arrive in time to reinforce the city. Oh, what a... He'd be annoyed about that, wouldn't he? Look, we can actually send some Mexicos in. Can't we? No, not like that. Not like that. By port. By port, man. There you go. We'll send some Mexicos in, just in case Bustamante doesn't make it in time. Heavy research completed. The Heavy Cruiser 2. Heavy research completed. Heavy Cruiser 2 research completed. Heavy Cruiser 3 research is at 50% ahead of time. Penalty reduced by 100%. Wow. I mean, it's not ahead of time. Oh, its research time will be reduced by 50%. Sure, let's get Heavy Cruisers 3. We might as well. Before we actually start bothering to make any Heavy Cruisers 2, we'll make Heavy Cruisers 3. It doesn't seem like we're in any great hurry because, I mean, the Mexican canoe fleets have been doing gloriously at sea. Meanwhile, Bustamante is busting all the way into the Mantes. Look, let's take here. Oh, we can't take there. Fine, let's not take there. We'll take there instead. Are you taking there? Everybody is taking there. We are advancing along. I think Peru has pretty much fallen. I mean, we still can't actually counterattack down here because their forces are too great. They're too... Maybe. Combined forces. Starting to win. We are starting to win. We might be able to push them back. Push them back. Push them further and further back. Meanwhile, Gallardo has led his troops, still dressed in some of the fishing garb that they arrived in, after their glorious assault on Lima. And it truly was a glorious assault. I mean, everyone thought he was going to fail. Everybody thought that's it. Even half of his army had given up and gone back to friendly territory for fresh tequila supplies. And Gallardo never gave up. He never gave in. He never surrendered. And he took Lima and then marched on to the second city and took that too. Truly, Gallardo is a legend. He is the hero of the MSR. It has been reaffirmed. Bustamante here, Martin is just... I mean, he's going to be so jealous. He's going to be so annoyed that once again Gallardo has managed to achieve the seeming impossible, and he's been left to just kind of like slog along the mountains bit by bit. Still, some excellent fighting. But who's going to talk about Martin's contribution? Oh no. All of the talk back in the MSR is going to be of Gallardo's glorious assault, dressed as a Peruvian fisherman. And that's all there is to it. National focus completed. Aviation effort. Excellent. Should we go on to bomber focus? Yeah, let's do that. Bomber focus. On to bomber focus. We have taken a Rec P. Let's unpause it. They haven't actually capitulated yet. Or have they? There they go, the Republic of Peru has capitulated. Dino Inca has announced that the cowardly Peruvian nation could no longer withstand the pressure of pretty much just Gallardo storming in, dressed as a Peruvian fisherman, waving Cuban cigars and throwing bottles of tequila all about him, just like some kind of crazed fiend. But it worked, and Peru has capitulated. It's great news. Oh, look at that. Look at all that green. Look, somehow Colombia has come back. Pause. We must retake Colombia. We must retake those territories which claim to have been Colombian. Who knows? I guess it's just like tribes out in the jungle who've decided that they have been freed, liberated by the Peruvian soldiers. The Peruvian soldiers just kind of came through, took all their tequila, they sobered up, and they said, "Oh, do what you want, you're free now." And they were like, "Oh, okay, we call ourselves Colombian again." But don't worry, the truck chicos are on their way back with fresh supplies of tequila. All will be well. We're up to 56 military factories. Let's chuck those into the Tanko Maximos, or Tanki Maximos. Excellent, that's good. We have insufficient resources. We need 20 we really need lots and lots of steel. Old buddies, the Soviet Union, can we have a bit more steel, please? I mean, we'll pay for it. We pay our way. We still have low manpower. We're going to need to change our conscription laws once again to get even more of the MSR population into the machine of war. We can modify our government, but I don't think it's worth it at this point in time. Resistance to occupation. Unfortunately, we had to bring some of the truck chicos off. So we'll just have to put up with that resistance, I guess, for the time being. Alright, let's just unpause it. Soak up the glory of this historic victory. Once again, a historic victory. Look, I mean, I really don't like all of these American troops and others, French and just everybody just strolling around our territory, seemingly like they own the place, which frankly they don't. We may have had a small amount of assistance from US forces, I suspect just because they were bored and it was good target practice for them. But basically, you know, we have waged this war on our own. We are not allied with these people. Let us just remember that fact. These are not our allies. These are members of bourgeois elite countries. And we want as little to do with them as possible. Ultimately, of course, they will be liberated in the name of their workers. Concentrated industry 4 has been researched. Excellent. We could maybe go on for concentrated industry 5, but we've got a bit of a ahead of time penalty. Advanced machine tools. Let's do that. Focus on the industry. We'll take a bit of a breather now. We probably should declare war on Bolivia. Especially as we can get the assistance of our one and only ally in this world, Paraguay. We should probably just take a quick step back and assess exactly what we're going to do. We've made an enormous amount of progress here. I mean, we've conquered a lot of territory, and we have gained a lot of factories and other such things, and a lot of productive capacity. At some point, we are going to have to turn our attention to the United States. We can't forever war down here. We could maybe take Bolivia as the last country. I suspect, I mean, Chile might be relatively easy to take because it's so long and thin. We could do some like naval invasions and conquer it, possibly. I'm not sure if it'll be worth it or not. Argentina, I suspect, would be a tough country to take. It's pretty big, and I suspect fairly well defended. Uruguay is almost a nothing country, really. Do we even want Uruguay? I don't know. I mean, they are kind of greenish, so I wouldn't mind them ultimately joining us, possibly. Brazil, of course, are continuing to find the light of communism. They're up to 46%. We're going to continue to let this grow, I think, for the time being, until we're ready to stage a coup, which right now we're not. First, we would need to decide where next, what next, and how next. And of course, this war is still on. Oh, look, the war is nearly over. The war is going 100% in favor of the aggressors. Fantastic. That means it's over, right? Can we, like, sue for peace or something? Well, I guess we will find out next time, because unfortunately, there is not enough time for such negotiations this time. So, until then, thanks a lot for watching, everyone. I have been Weird Wizard, and I will see you later.